What is the most powerful production AMG model ever made? I don't think you would expect it to be the AMG GT 4-door. It's not just any old 4-door though. This is the E Performance. So under this rather large bonnet, you will find Mercedes 4-litre V8 twin turbo. Now this is an engine we've all been accustomed to. They fit it to pretty much every single performance AMG model. In fact, the G-Wagon we drove earlier, that has the same engine. Where this differs is it's got an E Performance mode attached to it. So it's got its own hybrid system, but the hybrid system has nothing to do with saving the planet or saving you money. Mercedes themselves even say that. It's all about performance. The electric motor produces 201 horsepower. Combined with this 4-litre V8, it produces 831 horsepower. 831 horsepower in a 4-door car. This will be the fastest car I have ever driven. Round the back, it's got traditional AMG styling, such as the quad square exhaust pipes, and just a general meatiness of the back. Now the boot maybe isn't as big as what you expect, and that's because this big bump in it is taken up where all the batteries and all the electric gubbings are. But I think that's a small price to pay for an extra 200 horsepower. This being the 4-door AMG GT means it has to work properly as a 4-seater. We're not talking about a 911 here, this thing's got 4 doors. And I can confidently say that it's a very pleasant place to sit. The seats are in quite a far back position, probably where I would have them. And yet I've still got plenty of legroom with the nice sculpted seats. There's loads of knee room, and the seats in the back themselves are gorgeous. It's so much nicer in cars to have 4 seats if you can get away with it, because it just means you've got individual bucket seats. You can sit in really nicely, feels super secure, and despite this sloping roofline that you see, there's plenty of headroom as well. I'd be very happy sat in the back of here for a long drive. But where I'd actually want to sit is over there, because it's got 831 horsepower. So jumping inside this absolutely incredible car, you're greeted with the most fantastic cabin design of any car. Mercedes are really hitting the mark when it comes to interior design. I don't think there's another manufacturer out there doing it quite as well as Mercedes. Not only have they got really amazing infotainment systems, but they've also got really ergonomic designs. You don't spend ages trying to work out how everything works. And they've kept physical buttons, which I absolutely love about it. When you start the car up, it starts in EV mode. That allows you to use all of your aircon, everything as normal, just like any other EV. It's down in the bottom where you swap it from EV to Sport. That's what ignites that V8 engine. We'll do that very shortly. Down the middle, you've got obviously a deployable spoiler button, which obviously you've got to have up when you're driving this car. Comfort mode, suspension settings, traction control settings, all the usual stuff. Mercedes have also got what I think to be one of the best ways to control a screen in a car, which is essentially a trackpad like you have on a MacBook. Works in very much the same way, and it just is seamless. Very easy to control, it's easy to type things. I don't think there's a better system out there. The interior is just a really nice place to sit. There's plenty of headroom, and yet you've got that lovely sloping design. The cabin feels nice and enclosed, and you've got a very clear view down the bonnet, these 2 little bumps, and your heads-up display. It's a very simple design, but it just works beautifully. So yeah, let's just see what it's like out on the road. This car can be driven, I think I have mentioned it, in full EV mode. It'll do around 70 miles an hour on EV mode alone, which is pretty impressive. Oh, first acceleration, it was a brief one, but I think you could tell by my face. It's hellishly quick. What we're going to do to this car, because of its immense power, there isn't really going to be a back road that's going to allow us to actually experience 831 horsepower all at the same time. And I think the only way is to essentially go onto the motorway. I'm going to give it absolute full throttle. It's clear, we're doing 30 miles an hour and I'm going to plant my foot down. There is a car in front, I might go in the crawler lane actually. You ready? 3, 2, 1. What on earth was that? The speed it took off that crawler lane. I had a car down the side of me. He was giving it some in his Audi. We just dropped him. Wow. That is immensely powerful. I mean, it's over 800 horsepower. I don't know what I expected, but it's the pull from seemingly nothing. I've never been in a car this quick. This is ridiculous. I have never said these words ever before, which is, it's almost too much power. It's almost too much. I'm not going to tell you the speeds that appeared on my dashboard during that acceleration. That would be stupid, and I'm certainly not going to show you the dashboard. Let's just say I stuck to the speed limit. But the rate in which it got to that speed limit, just unbelievable. Next level. Next level. I think this has got to be one of the most underrated cars Mercedes have ever made, or indeed one of the most underrated cars I've ever encountered. There's nothing online about it. There's no awards for it. I never saw it go up the Goodwood Hill. I might have missed all this. You might all be in the comments going, what are you on about? This car's well known to be an absolute weapon. It's a Bugatti Veyron with 4 doors. But I've not experienced it before. I've not heard of it. And today I've jumped in it, and it's just totally rewritten what I thought was possible with internal combustion. The pickup from it is beyond anything I've ever driven before. Genuinely, it slams you into your seat. That's not me being dramatic. It does genuinely slam you into your seat. It's mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. And yes, it's expensive. We're going to talk about the price. 174,000 they start at, with options, and as this one is probably fully loaded with carbon, the Baumeister ceramics. I don't know how much of that comes as standard, but I can only imagine this is quite a highly spec car. Go for the overtake now. I mean, the way this thing goes is, we're just going to take it around some twisty bends now and see how it handles. The brakes are phenomenal. This is a big car. It weighs a lot due to the battery packs, and it hides its weight so well in the bends. You would not expect a car like this size and this weight to be able to be thrown around quite like that. You can hear pops and bangs coming from the exhaust. Coming out of a bend, full throttle. Oh my good God. It's absolutely savage. The roads aren't even busy today, but all I'm doing is flying up behind people at high speed and then getting stuck behind them. I'm probably catching people that set off 10, 15 minutes earlier than me. It is ridiculous on the road. So there are pre-select modes. So there's race mode, which we were just in, or sport plus mode, whatever you want to call it. That is basically your attack mode, full attack mode, everything turned up to 11, and it's fantastic. The car also has an EV mode. So say you're entering a town and you don't need the loud rumbling V8. You can just simply put the car in EV mode only. The engine will then fully disengage and you'll be powered along like any other EV. This car will do up to 70 miles an hour like this, and it just means you've got the best of both worlds. I love electric cars. I love the way they perform, and I love the lack of sound from them. It is really appealing, and it's really nice when you set off on a morning and you don't wake all your neighbours up and annoy them all. So this makes sense. But the petrol head in me is just like, give me the V8. So you put it straight back into Sport Plus, V8 powers up, and you've got both power units working together to deliver you 831 horsepower, 1400 Newton meters of torque, which I cannot believe I'm even saying that. That's just a ridiculous torque figure. So around town, the AMG 4-door is really good actually. We're still in sport mode. The suspension is certainly not too hard for driving around town. It's perfectly compliant. I don't think you'd find this too uncomfortable. It's genuinely really, really nice. But the thing is, with this ability to swap between EV and sport mode and all the different modes that you can do, I think it just really shows the versatility of this car. And the thing is, when you're driving it around town, you're not getting the looks that you would expect. So I'm currently driving round a housing estate in a £200,000 car. No one's even given it a second look. And I think if you're into that kind of thing, you're into something expensive, fast and subtle, this ticks every single box. Because if you drove something of similar performance from the hypercar or supercar world, you'd have people taking pictures, you wouldn't be able to stop without being swarmed. This has got supercar performance with none of the supercar drawbacks. You can bring your kids, you can go shopping in it. I don't even think it'll be that horrific on fuel if I'm being totally honest. So all in all, it makes a really good daily driver if you've got the cash to purchase it in the first place. So the AMG GT 4-door E Performance. It truly is the Bugatti Veyron in 4-door form. I've never been in a car that can throw you into your seat quite like this one. And not only that, in supreme comfort. It's a very understated looking car and I absolutely love that about it. I just wish there was more online covering it. This car needs to be more celebrated than what it is. So would I recommend that you bought one of these AMG GT 4-doors? Well, I have to say, if I had the money, I'd be buying one tomorrow. What it offers in terms of comfort, practicality and all outright performance, I don't think there's a car on the road that can match it. That, coupled with its really understated looks, I don't think you can go far wrong. It's a shame that Mercedes haven't sold more and we're not going to see that many on the road. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already for plenty more videos like this one to come. Thank you very much for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye.